This video is going to talk about how to add a transaction to LibAnswers. LibAnswers is the, behind the scenes, is the statistical keeping software for the reference desk. Other departments are starting to use it as well, but for our purposes today, we're just going to talk about reference. So whenever we're asked a question, any question, we're supposed to capture some basic information about it. What is the question? What is the answer? When did it happen? Who answered it? And then this stuff down here, the metadata of the question, or the data about the data. So I'll show you an example. Let's say somebody asks me, where are the restrooms? Well, that's a question that's asked all the time. I'm going to answer them, and I'm going to make a mark in here to show that I helped them. But because that question's been asked plenty of times before, I don't actually have to type out the full answer, which is go to the stairway, go downstairs, turn right again. I don't have to do all of that because it's already been asked. So I can instead look for it here in this drop-down menu of most frequently asked questions. There is where are the restrooms, and I can type in a shorthand, which is IKB. That IKB means it's already in the knowledge base, The knowledge base is the homegrown database of questions and answers that we've made here through years of answering questions repeatedly. So I would put that in there, then I would say it happened right now, it happened in person, at the reference desk, it was just general information. If you don't know what the difference is, general information is probably something anybody could answer in the library for them, so it's directional stuff. Where's the bathroom? Or basic policy stuff. What are the hours? How many books can I check out? Whereas reference assistance is anything where you would have to do a little bit of research. Can you help me find books on this topic? Well, you would have to look things up in bank and make some judgment calls yourself. Technical troubleshooting is anything, like it says, that's involved in technology, so helping somebody fix the printer or helping somebody change the margins in their Word document. So things more technical in nature. So general information, again, anybody could probably answer in the whole building. Reference assistance, that's calling on your unique skill set as a researcher. And technical troubleshooting, like it or not, we have a lot of those questions too. And then this is a judgment call. Did you think it was an easy question? Did you just know it without thinking about it? Moderate, you thought you know it, but you double-checked it. Difficult, you really had to think and look and search to find the answer. Or referral, which is, did you pass them on to somebody else? So you're going to choose that. And then finally, you're going to choose how long it took. Not surprisingly, these are often related. An easy question, you're probably going to bust out in a couple seconds. A moderate question may take longer. But sometimes you have a very difficult question that still only takes 11 minutes or something. So you're going to choose the time frame that is the most closely related to you, how long it took. It's not going to be a perfect match. You're going to do all of that, and then you're going to hit submit. And that will enter into our behind-the-scenes database a record of this. If you get asked, where's the bathroom, 14 times in a day, you are going to enter that in here. You're going to add it as a transaction all 14 times. Because this is creating statistics for us. This lets us know what questions are being answered, how much of our time is spent answering things like where's the bathroom or how do I fix the printer. It also tells us when questions are being answered. So if all of our questions are being answered from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., then we know we have to be the most staffed then. So it's important that you try to put these in as they happen so that this is an accurate record of when you had to help people. All right, so sometimes we have questions that are already in the knowledge base, but they're not listed as one of our most frequently asked questions because this is only 20 questions. It can't be everything, right? So if you're going to enter a question and answer and you think there's a chance somebody's already answered it before, well, you're probably right. And you can double check that then. So first, I could type in my question, which is maybe, how do I download an ebook? But before I go through explaining it, because it's a long process, I can actually type in this box right here where it says see if similar questions are already existing. I can look to see if that does indeed already exist. Oh my goodness, it does, in lots of versions too. How do I do it for my iPad? How do I do it for my laptop? And if I go to this, what it does, well, it does a couple of things. First of all, it gives me the answer already. in a reliable format so I can read this. I even have videos and stuff, links to the sources I need. These are really good high quality answers, so you could just read this or email it to the person you're helping. It makes it look like you know a bunch, which you do because it's here, but it also means you don't need to repeat the answer. So over here, even though this wasn't a drop-down question, it's still a public knowledge-based question. So you can still just type in then IKB instead of repeating it all. So the only time you really need to answer a question with a new answer, a non-IKB answer, is if that question is not already in the public knowledge base. So here's an example. What is the best database for chemistry? So I can look in here, chemistry, oops, darn it, that happens sometimes, sorry, chemistry, and all I can find is where can I find resources about chemistry, and then these other two things don't even really have to do with it. So that question's not already in the database. So I can put the question in and then the answer to the best of my ability. Now I could go to the LibGuide for chemistry and see which databases the librarians called the best bets. And so I'll show you how I would do that. So let me go there now. And so you'll remember this because you just completed the training for LibGuides. Go to Explorer, go to Chemistry, Start Your Research, go to Articles, and here it says these two are the best databases for chemistry. So I could just copy this information maybe, copy it, and go back over to where I was answering this question and put it in. And then I could format it a little bit. In our opinion, these are the best bets for databases in this field. So even now, I didn't have to make everything up myself. I've copied this information from a reliable source that's already been made on your behalf, and, well, on everybody's behalf actually. I've copied it from the LibGuide, and now I've got a good answer, and still going to fill out all of this information, whatever it is. It's reference assistance, in person, it was moderate, took a few minutes. I'm going to submit it, and then what's going to happen is myself, the labor supervisor, and a student worker who's called the knowledge database manager, we're going to look at all of these questions, these new questions, the non-IKB questions, and their answers, and we're going to see if any of those need to be added to the public knowledge base, if they need to be added to a place where other students could find them. And if they are, if they're good, we're going to polish them up, make sure that the right things are capitalized and punctuation's good, and then we're going to do that. We're going to make them public for people to see. So that's the other reason to take this seriously. If you have a good question and you work hard to answer it, if there's not a record of it, nobody else is going to be able to benefit from it down the line. But if, on the other hand, you've done a good job, this could become a part of public record that could help everybody doing their research later. Now, if you're a student at the reference desk, most likely when you're entering your questions, you're actually going to choose reference desk and then put your name over here. So, Amanda. That way, when we look at all of these submissions, we'll be able to give you credit for the work you've done. And in case you're wondering, do we actually check this? We do. We check it every 3 weeks, and we're going to give you feedback at the reference desk telling you how you've done answering questions. Which means if you haven't answered very many questions, we're going to tell you that. And that's going to be an issue. So you're going to want to stay on top of it and record everything you do. But I'll show you how that looks. So let's say I want to know how many questions has Amanda Peach answered since January 4th. There we go. And if I hit that, it'll tell me she's answered this many questions, and I can actually look at all of her questions and answers, and I can get dates and times about when they happen. And again, all of that information is going to tell us, the supervisors, when people need to be scheduled, but also Are they taking their questions seriously? Are they answering their questions? If you never have any questions you're answering, then that means either you're forgetting to do it or you're just maybe not doing your job. So this is one of the ways we review your work, frankly. So you'll want to take it seriously, for sure. But also don't get overwhelmed by having a set number of entries. By showing up and answering any question that you're asked and recording it, you're going to meet the minimum requirement. All right, so that's it right now for entering the LibAnswers transactions.